Hey guys, it's Melanie. I hope you're having a great day. It is time for another perfume or personal fragrance review here, and we are going to be talking about a clean reserve fragrance today, specifically the Sparkling Sugar. One thing that I thought might be kind of fun to include in my videos going forward is to share with you guys how I came across a particular fragrance. Now, I get a lot of really great recommendations from you guys, so if you have a suggestion for me, a perfume, a body spray, or whatever that you think I need to try, leave that down below in the comments, because I do actually take notes from my comment section and create lists of things that I would like to try. I would consider myself a social media consumer, and so sometimes I will come across an ad on either Instagram or Facebook, and that will sometimes get the wheels turning. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of influencers out there sharing their favorites and, you know, whatever else on the internets. But I always then do my due diligence. Like my interest might be piqued, but then I go through and I do the research. I check out other people's reviews. I read about the fragrances in blogs if I can, and just try to find out a little bit more before I decide to invest myself. Sometimes I will just be browsing around Sephora, Ulta, or a boutique or something and come across a fragrance that just kind of wows me. And sometimes I will literally be laying in bed at like 11 o'clock at night. I can't sleep, and I'm just thinking, I wonder if there's a perfume out there that has vanilla peach and, I don't know, patchouli. So I start Googling, right? And I see what the Google machine pops out for me and then kind of go down that rabbit hole. So yeah, I thought I might go ahead and share how I came across the Sparkling Sugar from Clean Reserve. You guys, it was Jaclyn Hill, of all people, of course. I don't at all. I don't get any advice really from Jaclyn Hill these days. I haven't watched her channel in forever. I don't even know if she's still active. I don't know what she's up to. But anyway, I was on Instagram scrolling through, and there was an ad from Clean Reserve that had Jaclyn in it. I think she was getting ready to go out on the town or whatever. And the last thing she did in this video was apply a perfume. And this was the one that she was applying, and spoke very, very highly of it. And the thing that caught my attention was that she kept saying that it was a very sweet, but not overly sweet fragrance. And I will say, she's definitely spot on about that. But yeah, something about the way that she described it just kind of made me think, this is a brand that I've kind of been interested in anyway, so let's check it out. I knew I was going to the mall the following day to pick up some stuff for Stella, so popped into Sephora. Luckily, they had it in stock. I was able to smell the tester, sprayed it on the little piece of paper, loved the way that it smelled on the little tester, and then also sprayed it on myself. And then, knowing me, I knew that I needed to give the fragrance just a little bit of time to sit on my skin to make sure that it doesn't turn sour or that it doesn't smell off on my skin, right? So decided to walk around the mall for a little bit longer, and I just kept smelling my wrists. I could not stop smelling my wrists. It got better and better on my skin. And half hour, 45 minutes went by. I was ready to go home, and I thought, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna grab it. So I wish that they would have had the 1.7 ounce size in stock, but my store did not. And looking online, I only see either the 3.4 ounce option or a travel. This is another Clean Reserve fragrance I'm gonna review, but this travel size here. So this was the only other option. This, by the way, is the Radiant Nectar. I'll be reviewing this in probably a couple weeks. But so your option was either the mega size or the small size. This in between 1.7 ounce size, they don't actually carry that at Sephora, at least not for this fragrance. I don't know if that's the case for all of the Clean Reserve, but definitely not for this one. So I loved it so much, you guys, that I sprang for the mega size, the 3.4 ounce size. I was really impressed by the overall like presentation of the bottle. It's very simple. This is one of those brands that is a clean brand at Sephora. They are definitely cruelty-free. That is super important to me. While I receive a lot of fragrances as gifts, those aren't always cruelty-free. Anytime that I spend my own money on perfume or cosmetics or things like that, I make sure that it's available from a cruelty-free company. They also say that they are eco-conscious and sustainable. Their packaging and things are recyclable, which I think is nice. And they believe in giving back. So all good things, right? We are going to go ahead and hit up the Sephora website here to talk about the fragrance notes. I'm going to tell you guys what I smell, how this wears on my skin, the projection, how long it lasts, all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. By the way, thanks Jaclyn Hill. This was a good suggestion. Okay, so they say that the fragrance family that this particular scent falls into is the warm and spicy. The scent type is warm and sweet gourmands, but I don't know that I necessarily consider this a gourmand fragrance per se. It comes across as more like fruity to me, and I am someone who puts gourmand kind of in like a different category than fruity, even though gourmand implies edible, and fruits are edible, but in my world they're different. Okay, so your keynotes here are black currant, which are cassis berries. You've got peach nectar in here as well as white musk. So the inspiration for this fragrance was inspired by a wink and a smile. I always love these. This fun and flirty fragrance blends cassis berries and luscious peach nectar with soft sugar to create an irresistibly sweet, but not too sweet scent with a little sass. Amberette, a natural musk, lingers on the skin for the final touch. Okay, so about the bottle, I feel like this is worth mentioning. Clean Reserve is a farm to fragrance collection crafted by sustainably sourced ingredients and eco-conscious packaging. Inspired by Clean Reserve's partnership with earthday.org to help protect pollinators, this limited edition packaging is adorned with ladybugs to help raise awareness. I love me some ladybugs. When Stella was younger, like we used to go out into our yard and like look for ladybugs, and she was always like so gentle with them. It just melted my heart. Anyway, doesn't matter. So you've got little ladybugs on here. The packaging is adorable. I feel like this would be like a beautiful presentation if you were to purchase this fragrance for a girlfriend or for a significant other. I just think overall the presentation it's important in my eyes, and I think this is done really well, especially for a clean or vegan cruelty-free type brand. Yeah, it's a little bit more simple. The bottle is quite heavy, guys. It does come with a nice lid that has wood on it, also a little bit of plastic here on the inside. It fits very tightly onto the bottle. And then the label just says the name of the company, the scent, it's got a little ladybug on it. It tells you that it's an eau de parfum, and the family is Fresh Gourmand. So let's go, let's spray it, and let's talk about what I smell. Oh, it's just good, it's so good, you guys. The whole description of it being sweet but not too sweet is really quite accurate. This is not the type of fragrance that comes across as cloying by any stretch of the imagination. It absolutely has those black currant notes. I feel like that's the very first thing that pops out at me. But immediately following that black currant, it is followed up with that peach note, and it's so good, you guys. This would be such a fantastic fragrance for the spring and summer. This is the type of thing that I would totally wear as a daytime fragrance. I don't know that I would wear this as like a nighttime or like date type fragrance. I think it's a little too fresh and light and airy for that. For date night or for going out or for going to like an event or something, I definitely prefer heavier amber, patchouli, vanilla type mixes, but this is perfect for daytime, guys. The sweetness that comes from this is definitely more of like that like sugary sweetness. It's not like a molasses sweetness per se. It doesn't, you know, like how certain sweeteners have certain types of like sweetnesses to them. Like honey has a certain type of like sweetness. Maple has a certain type of sweetness. Maple to me is very cloying. If anything mentions maple in the description, like I'm out. But if the sugar is like just more of like that kind of plain white sugar type of sweetness, or like a honey sweetness, or the sweetness comes from like the fruits themselves, that's definitely up my alley. And this one I think is great because it has the sweetness from the cassis as well as the peach, but then it has just a dash more, but it's done really well. Again, this is not cloying. And I definitely asked Craig when I came home, I was like, what does this smell like to you? And he's like, it just kind of smells clean. It's sweet, but it smells clean. And that is like really, I tried a few of their other fragrances, by the way, while I was at Sephora, because I really haven't done much research into this brand. And I feel like across the board, there's kind of this overall vibe to the Clean Reserve fragrances. They all come across like with their own unique fragrance notes, but then they all somehow manage to smell fresh and clean at the same time. I don't think any of them are like oppressive in any kind of way. I don't think any of the fragrances that I smelled are offensive. I feel like these would be kind of great fragrances to use when you're out in public and if you're trying to be mindful about other people's, you know, smell perceptions of you. Like this is the kind of scent that I would think would be kind of universal. Like I don't think anyone would smell this on you and go, don't like that. I think it's just kind of a great universal fragrance. In terms of how long does this last on me? With this being my first Clean Reserve fragrance, I think that I am quite impressed with the lasting power of this. For me, on average, I tend to personally reapply my personal fragrance, whether it's an eau de parfum, whether it's an eau de toilette, whether it's a body spray, usually about every like 4 to 5 hours. Like if I stop smelling it, I go and I reapply. I always carry fragrance with me in my purse as well, so even when I'm out in public, if I stop smelling my fragrance, I will do a touch-up. Now, I tend to be a little bit more light-handed with the touch-ups because I'm also aware of the fact that I could have just become nose blind to my fragrance. But this, I think, lasted a little bit longer than some of my other high-end fragrances. I think even after about 6 hours, I was still smelling this, like kind of like wafting off of me. Good lasting power on this one, you guys. And I wasn't, oh, I hate to say this, but I wasn't really expecting that from a clean fragrance. For example, Skylar is also a clean fragrance, right? But I find that the Skylar perfumes tend to wear off a little bit faster. This, man, this sucker stayed. Like, she did not want to go anywhere. So I love that. I love when I can get longer wear out of a fragrance, and this one, it has me wanting to try more from the brand for sure, because if I don't have to reapply, I think that's a great thing. In terms of the overall just conclusion here, I think that I find this to be a very fresh and clean fragrance. It is a sweeter fragrance. It does have those yummy fruity notes to it. I think it's great for the upcoming spring, summer season. I think it's quite a universal fragrance. I think a lot of people would like this one, and it's just really enjoyable. I don't have anything bad to say about this one, short of maybe the price point. So price, let's talk that. This was quite spendy. This isn't the most expensive perfume that I've ever purchased, but the 3.4 ounce size, retails for $110. Now, I had a bunch of points at Sephora, so I opted for $10 off. So I paid $100 for this. I do think that this will last a very long time. I mean, it's a huge bottle. It's a lot of fragrance. Although I will say I'm definitely starting to put a dent in it because I am finding myself reaching for this one quite frequently. The 33 ounce, which is that travel size, that one is $29. And I would say that's probably the best way to get started with this particular fragrance, just to make sure that you like it. Obviously, Sephora has a great return policy anyway, but I do think that this is one worth checking out, you guys. I am never one to pressure you to, like, you have to go try it, but I think this is one where I would say definitely the next time you're at the mall and you see a Sephora, pop in, check this fragrance out, try it on yourself. One thing that the associate told me was that it seems to be a very popular fragrance, and a lot of people that smell it usually immediately end up purchasing it. So I think that's a good recommendation. The reviews also seem to be quite lovely. People seem to like this fragrance. So I'm a fan. I would definitely repurchase it. Not that I'm gonna have to anytime soon, but glad that I tried it. Let me know if you have tried anything from Clean Reserve. Let me know specifically if you have tried Sparkling Sugar. What are your thoughts? Leave them down below in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Check out the description box. I'll put a link where you can purchase this in a few different places. So yeah, anyway, hope you have a great one, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Toodaloo.